So welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm really excited for this video. I'm going to be showing you exactly how I get all of my e-commerce clients for my agency. I'm literally just going to be laying everything out on the table for you guys to literally just copy exactly what I have done. As I say, that has gotten me from $0 to $20,000 per month with my e-commerce agency. I'm going to lay it all out on the table for you guys to literally copy and implement for your own agency. I'm actually going to be giving you a new extract out of my case study, and as I say, I'm going to be literally showing you exactly how I get all of my e-commerce clients for my agency. So with that being said, let's dive straight into the video. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this free case study training. I'm really excited for you guys to come through this case study. As I say, I'm gonna be showing you exactly how I literally get all of my e-commerce clients. I'm gonna be laying everything out on the table. And I'm also gonna show you exactly how you can get your first or next e-commerce client, and also really how you can predictably and profitably scale to 6 figures with your e-commerce SMMA. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Kai Bax, and I actually own a multiple 6-figure e-commerce agency and e-commerce social media marketing agency. And we actually work with some really cool clients. We actually also generate our e-com clients unmatched results. And so because of that, in this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step exactly how I built my personal e-commerce agency from 0 all the way up until around 20 to 25,000 per month, which is where I'm at the point of recording this. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the training. How to get to 6 figures with your Ecomm SMMA. So you have realized that you hate the local lead gen niche. You know, you've realized that there is no long-term potential in the local lead gen niche, and so you made the best transition you will ever make in your agency. You have transitioned into the e-commerce niche. Trust me when I say that that will be the best transition you will ever make in your agency. Again, for those of you who don't really know my story too well, I started out in the real estate niche. So I started out in the local lead gen niche. And in full transparency, there was just nothing there for me. I hated working with the type of clients I was working with, not the people, just the industries that they were in. I hated running ads for clients, and I hated building teams around running ads for clients because I just didn't enjoy the KPIs and the certain things that we were optimizing for. I didn't enjoy getting results for clients. And I also didn't like outreach. And as I say, I just didn't like local lead gen as a whole. And also I realized very quickly that there was a glass ceiling, because really, as we'll get into, you can only ever charge local lead gen clients a certain amount. And so the reason you making the transition into the e-commerce niche will be the best transition you make in your agency is because the e-commerce niche truly beats all, and here's why. First things first, increasing cash flow. Unlike the local lead gen niche where you have a limit as to what you can charge each client, in the e-com niche, as long as the service delivery aspect of your agency is down packed, you can literally charge 8K per month plus. And I know this from personal experience because I have and am charging clients 8K per month plus. And in the local lead gen niche, getting to 8,000 per month, getting to that 6-figure mark is so sought after. And in the e-com niche, I mean, you can literally charge one client that. Just one client, you can charge 6 figures. That's just not even a talking point in the local lead gen niche. And also, scaling in the e-commerce niche is much easier. Due to the drastically high retainers that you can charge, scaling an e-com agency is a lot easier than any other niche. You can scale to 30K per month with just 6 clients. In the local lead gen niche, you would need a minimum of 15 clients to see past 30K per month. As I say, and these are just very arbitrary numbers, but they're very achievable and realistic numbers at the end of the day. You can literally scale to $30,000 per month with just 6 clients with an e-commerce agency. Whereas with a local lead gen agency, you would literally need a minimum of 15 clients to get to that same amount at the end of the month. And even if we're not looking at those types of heights, we're just looking at even 6 figures. With an e-com agency, you can literally scale to 6 figures with 2 clients. Getting 2 clients to pay you $4,000 per month each with an e-com agency, that's such a standard within the e-com niche. Whereas within the local lead gen niche, getting a client to pay you $4,000 and then to go ahead and get 2 of those clients, that is the top of the top. Whereas in the e-com niche, it's very standard and it's very average. So truly that, I'm sure it's very evident to you just to see how much better the e-com niche is than any other niche out there. But there is a problem. You feel as though you're spinning your wheels when it comes to getting e-com clients. You know, you have tried quote unquote all the methods and nothing seems to work for you. Don't worry, okay? I understand. I was once in your position and I truly hated it. And really, I want to put a stop to that in this video, okay? So I highly recommend you get a coffee and take some notes, because in this video, I'm going to unveil, number one, my exact e-commerce client acquisition funnel. Like, I'm literally going to show you my exact step-by-step e-commerce client acquisition funnel, how I literally got my first 6 to 7 e-commerce clients for my agency. I'm going to be laying out that entire funnel for you literally just to copy and just go and implement for your own agency. Next, I'm going to be going through how to ensure that you get your first or next e-com client. And the third and final thing that we're going to go through is the only 4 outreach methods that you need to scale your e-com agency to 6 figures. Like, when I say I'm laying it all out on the table in this video, I truly mean I am giving you everything that you need in order to go and get, as I say, your first or next e-com client. And then once you've got that dialed in, you can then go ahead and scale to 6 figures. I'm literally giving it all away in this video, guys. So as I say, I'm really excited. Make sure you get a coffee and you take some notes, because truly this is gonna be so value packed. And yeah, I don't wanna waste any more of your time. So let's get into the training. So how to get your first or next e-commerce SMMA client. The very first step in the e-commerce client acquisition funnel is lead sourcing / qualifying. I would heavily argue that this is one of the most important steps to the entire funnel. And the reason being is because it doesn't matter how good your physical outreach is. It doesn't matter that, whether you do email or you do, cold calling. If you do that, I don't recommend you do that, but it doesn't matter if you do that. You serve an ad or, you could literally choose any of these outreach methods. But if you're doing these outreach methods to an audience, you're sending it to an audience, you're sending it to a person who isn't qualified, then it doesn't matter the type of outreach you do. Even if you get them onto a sales call, it doesn't matter how good you sell them. Honestly, guys, it doesn't matter. If the client isn't qualified, if the prospect isn't qualified, as I say, nothing else matters, because you could be the best salesperson in the world, right? You could be Jordan Belfort, Grant Cardone. You could be any of the other amazing salespeople in the world. You could be any one of those, and you could have their ability to sell. But if the prospect, if the client isn't qualified, you will never sell them, okay? If the prospect goes into a discovery call with you and they have the mindset of paying you $500 per month for your services, right? And you go ahead and you go in there and you pitch them at $6,000 per month. Again, another very common and average e-commerce client retainer. You go ahead and pitch them at $6,000. If they're not qualified because they think that they're going to get your service for $500, then it won't matter how good at sales you are. They won't convert. So what you must do is eliminate all those prospects, and you do this within the lead sourcing and qualifying stage of the funnel. So as I say, I truly believe that this is one of the most important stages, because this really does depict how successful the rest of the funnel is. And so, as I say, that is the first stage of the e-commerce client acquisition funnel, lead sourcing / qualifying. Now, from here, you will then have your qualified leads. So you've done your lead sourcing, you've taken a big number of people and you've really qualified them down into a smaller group that is your qualified leads. So once you've got that group, and again, guys, this is so important that you do get a nice, healthy group of qualified leads. From here, the next stage is having your qualified leads structured in a CRM. For those of you who don't know, a CRM, it means customer relationship management. That's what CRM stands for. And really we use it within outreach so that we can structure, we can organize, and we just really know where all of our leads are in the entire outreach process. If you have any sort of email follow-up sequences in place and whatnot, you really don't want to be sending, say if you have email 1 and you have email 2, so everybody who doesn't reply to email 1 gets sent email 2.
You don't want email 2 being sent to somebody who's already replied, or you don't want email 2 to get sent twice to the same person, etc., etc. That's where it gets messy, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to structure your qualified leads in a CRM so everything's organized. You can see from a bird's eye level view where each lead is at in the process, and it just allows you to keep everything, as I say, very organized, and it also allows you to streamline your entire outreach process as a whole. Makes things a lot easier, especially when you start doing this at scale. You know, if you've got 10 leads, for example, you may not think that this is that important, you know, organizing your leads, etc. However, when you get to 100 leads or 200 leads or 300 leads, things start to get messy. So you really want to make sure that your qualified leads structured very well in a CRM. Now, from here, this is where you now want to look at your outreach. So really there's two main methods of outreach. Okay, you've got email outreach and you have Loom outreach. So both of these work really, really well. And actually both of them break down into smaller subsections. So for email, you have email scripts and you have personalized outreach. And then Loom further breaks down into a valuable Loom, which is around 10 to 20 minutes in length. And it also breaks down into speaking your email script, which is 2 to 5 minutes in length. So email outreach and Loom outreach are the best outreach methods for e-commerce. However, both of them break down into smaller subsections. So you got email outreach, and that, as I say, breaks down into email scripts and personalized outreach. And so the discrepancy between those two methods is quite large. And we're actually gonna break each one down even further here in a minute. And I'm gonna be telling you exactly which one you should be personally using. And as I say, Loom outreach as well, which is another broad outreach method that really you should only be using for e-commerce. That further breaks down into a valuable Loom and speaking your email script. Again, if these concepts don't make too much sense or you don't understand them entirely, don't worry, I'm going to be breaking each one down here in a minute, and I'm going to be showing you exactly which method you personally should be using. Now, from here, okay, so whatever outreach method you choose to use, whichever one it is, you always want to be selling the discovery call. So whether you do email scripts, whether you do personalized outreach, a valuable Loom, or you do a shorter Loom, whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. You always want to push the prospect to a discovery call, because in your outreach, you always want to be selling the discovery call. You do not want to be selling your service. So as I say, always push the prospect to the discovery call within your outreach. And from the discovery call, you always want to push your prospect to become a paying client. So guys, that is, from a bird's eye level view, the entire e-commerce client acquisition funnel. This funnel literally got me my first 6 to 7 clients, and it's enabled me to scale my agency to where it's at, as I mentioned at the start of the video, to around $20,000 to $25,000 per month. This really is the backbone behind that success, this entire e-commerce client acquisition funnel. And so what I want to do now is break down each outreach method in a lot more granular detail and really show you exactly the method that you personally should be using for your own agency, because certain things that work for me may not work for you, and some of these outreach methods that work for you may not work for me. So let's see what's going to work for you best so that you personally can triple down on the best converting outreach method in order for you to have the highest level of success with your e-com agency. So the 4 approaches.
Unfortunately, that is all I can show you over on YouTube. With that being said though, go ahead, click the first link in the description. It's going to take you to the actual case study and you'll be able to watch the rest of it. And as I say, I'll be showing you my entire e-commerce client acquisition funnel, and really you just get an entire understanding of exactly how to implement what I implement for my own agency, and that will then result in you getting your first or your next e-commerce client. And as well, on top of all of that, I'm going to show you exactly how you can scale to 6 figures with your e-commerce agency. So go ahead, click the first link in the description. It's going to take you to the actual case study. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you over there.